On the second day of the network test, From Software gave to me 2 shots at the Night Lord, an awesome showdown with Morgott, and a reminder that bleed damage is king. Let's talk about all that and more in my second after-action report for the Elden Ring Nightreign network test. Due to the debacle with the very first network test session on day 1, From Software set up an additional session for 6 o'clock on Saturday morning. But I decided to skip it and pay St. Trina her due. As a full-time teacher and a dad, sleep is hard to come by, so I opted to get some rest and go in full throttle for the 2 p.m. session. During the 2 p.m. session, I got to play as Wilder for the first time, and I had a blast doing so. Yesterday, I came away with the impression that you have to play as a varied team, as in each person using a different character, but that's not actually the case. Though I'm sure it's not something the developers would recommend, you can double up if you'd like, and Wilder is probably the character you'd have the easiest time doing this with. His build is flexible, and out of all the characters, he feels the most like the Tarnished from the base game. His ultimate is incredibly fun to use, and deals massive damage. And even when a party member is playing as him and pulls it off instead of you, it's an exciting moment. It's easy to see why he's the character they chose to feature on the cover art, and include as a statue along with the collector's edition. That said, I still spent most of the day playing as Guardian, and my success with this badass Birdman has all but cemented his status as my main character moving forward. I continue to love his tank build, his dive bomb ultimate, and if you pair him with the right weapon and shield combo, he can be a real ass kicker. Playing as Guardian, I managed to reach the Night Lord twice, and even killed the bastard once. In the first run, where I merely encountered him, I was paired up with 2 Wilders. The team dynamics in this one were excellent. I drew the aggro and hulk damage as much as I could, while they provided a ton of DPS support. A few times, they fired their ultimates one right after the other, which led to bosses losing a huge chunk of their health bar and leaving them primed up for a critical hit. We traveled together for most of the run, and it was here that I established something of a strategy for Nightreign that seems, in my opinion anyway, to leave groups set up for success. On most runs, I followed the group to take out a mini-boss, and leveled up a little bit, then used the map's marker feature to suggest heading for one of the churches of Marika to get the all-important flask upgrades. That's exactly what we did here. We took out the fire monks and then upgraded our flasks twice, putting us in great position to defeat the demi-human queen and the demi-human swordsman. On the second day, we then upgraded our flasks again to +6, which is when we ran into a bit of trouble as Morgott attacked us. I'm not exactly sure how it works or what the conditions are, but Morgott seems to be able to appear at just about any point during the second day. We were in decent position to defeat him right from the start of the fight, but then he drew the aggro of the Royal Carrion Knight, who's a real pain in the ass by the way, forcing us into an incredibly dangerous and unexpected tag team boss battle. We fell back and managed to get the knight off our backs, but Morgott kept up his pursuit. We did a number on his health, but then the rain closed in, at which point I didn't know what the hell to do. Should we fight him in the rain, where we'll take continuous damage and risk losing a level? Or should we retreat and live to fight another day, but abandon a golden opportunity to take out one of Nightrein's most powerful adversaries? Fortunately, Morgott made the decision for us. He was fucking relentless, and we managed to get him to follow us out of the arc of the rain enough to finish him off. Killing Morgott provides players with a powerful upgrade. More importantly, it adds time to the in-game clock. We used this time wisely, clearing a few areas and toppling a hippo before night finally came, where we were faced with the Draconic Tree Sentinel. I regret to inform you that the Draconic Tree Sentinel is just as much of an asshole as he is in the base game. Seriously, fuck this guy. In previous runs, he spelled doom for my team, but this time around, the Wilders and I narrowly defeated him. It was really close, and at some points I doubted we'd actually do it. We got the job done, and advanced to a showdown with the Night Lord. As described in various articles, in the full game, before you go on an expedition, you'll get to decide which of 8 Night Lords you'd like to face at the end of your journey. Presumably, each Night Lord has a different map, with different daily bosses to face and areas to explore. The only one available in the network test is Tricephalus, referred to in-game as Gladius, the Beast of Night. Many have drawn a comparison between Gladius and this statue from Farum Azula, and I agree that there might be something there. but I'm going to wait for the full game to speculate about that one. In any case, Gladius has a sword on his back that he can whip at players with a chain that's attached to it, and he can even split into 3 individual wolves at various points during the fight. It was this power that ended up finishing off me and the Wilders, as Gladius was, quite literally, able to divide and conquer us. But fortunately, all was not lost. On my very next run, I teamed with a Wilder and a Duchess and made it all the way back to the Night Lord. This run was interesting in that we spent most of the first day not working as a team. Just like before, I would join the group for a mini-boss battle and then suggest that we go for the churches. But the others didn't join me, and at some points the 3 of us were going in 3 completely different directions. Obviously, this is less than ideal, but our success here speaks to the fact that as important as teamwork is, you can overcome bad teamwork, at least early on, and still pull out a win. After toppling the centipede demon, we got our shit together, and went into the boss battle with Morgott with a full set of flasks and some powerful items. As disorganized as we were early on, our items actually synced up really well. The Duchess had an item that looked like Rivers of Blood to me. I'm not 100% certain that it was, but it sure seemed like it, while I had a sword spear that induced blood damage. Together, we bled the shit out of Morgott, and the way his health dropped down in huge chunks reminded me why I loved items like the Sword of Milos and the Pizza Cutter in the base game. Bleed damage kicked ass in Elden Ring, and it's still a killer here in Nightreign. This time around, we defeated Gladius the same way. Thanks to the bleed damage combo from my Guardian and the Duchess, plus some well-timed ultimates from Wilder, we finished him off without too much difficulty. We died a few times along the way, but it never really felt like our victory was in doubt. So that's my experience playing Nightreign for the second day of the network test. But what about lore? Did I notice anything along the way? Well, one thing I am curious about is Morgott. The developers have given him a pretty significant role here, and I'll be interested to find out if the results of this universe's shattering played a part in why he's being featured like this. I mean, sure, he tells us to live in fear of the night when we kill him as Morgot, but as the Veiled Monarch, he's a major Erdtree fanboy. So where did his loyalties lie, and how did he approach his role as a demigod after Marika shattered the Elden Ring in this alternate universe? Another thing I'm looking forward to checking out in greater detail is the chamber that leads to the Night Lord. Its architecture is really interesting. It's fractured, but it has a familiar feel to it that I can't quite place, and above it is what seems to be a spectral version of the Erdtree. I'm not quite sure what to make of this just yet, but it seems significant, and whenever I get to play Nightreign solo, I'm going to take a long look around this area before I head through the door to face my chosen Night Lord. That's it for my second after action report. Check back tomorrow for one more, which will summarize my full thoughts on Nightreign and take a look forward to the full game. Thanks for watching. Big thanks to Moonlapse Piano, who allowed me to use their covers from the Elden Ring soundtrack for this video. To check out all of their incredible music, just follow the links down below in the description box. Big shout out to all my Silver and Gold tier YouTube channel members and Patreon subscribers, including James Pruitt, Gustavo Balaby, Lil Caesar, Reed, Pathonian, Faith G, Anna Novikova, Laura Parenti, and Sean Bobby, who get early access to these videos thanks to donations of $5 to $10 a month. See you guys next time, and go birds!